Arrowroots are planted from suckers in deep, well-drained, loamy, moist soils. They are planted in holes with a diameter of 1.5 feet and a depth of 1 feet, while observing a space of 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters to give adequate space for the tubers to grow in size. Different farmers, though, have adopted different planting techniques designed to fit their own demand. As for Martin, unlike what we have witnessed before, he plants more than one sucker in a hole. Let's find out how he does this.
Immediately after doing the soil testing and getting to understand your soil well, if the pH level is good, that the acidity is just minimum, that soil is good for planting the dasheen arrowroot. We have different ways which farmers normally use to plant the arrowroot, and one of the ways it's minimizing the space. Some normally plant one sucker as per the hole, and some prefer putting 2 suckers or 3 suckers. But in my case, I normally plant 3 or 4 suckers, depending on my client or the need of my client. So immediately after doing the soil testing, it's bush clearing, and then after bush clearing, it's you start digging the holes. There is some recommendations which are normally used for you to get the best yields. One, you have to dig, like you see in this farm, in this small portion, the hole, it has to be 1.5 feet. That's a diameter of 1.5 feet. Then you have to space from one hole to another. You have to give it about either 20 centimeters or 30 centimeters from one another. Immediately after doing your holes, that as I've said, 1.5 feet diameter, then a depth of 1 feet. Then now you'll be able to plant your suckers. Then when now it comes to planting, for example, when it comes to planting, you have to ensure that the lower side, you have cleared all the tuber which is there. This is the reason just to avoid it from rotting, and then now you need also to clear the leaves. Then that means that suckers is ready for planting. So what happens, as I've said, for you to get the best size, that the average size, which is more marketable in the market, I normally plant 3 suckers. So you just need to dig a bit soil and just put it there. Don't put plenty of soil. What normally happens, the suckers or the arrowroot normally grows upwards. That means if you put a lot of soil, that suckers will go downwards, creating a very small tube. So for it to have an average size, you just need to put small soil. Then after a month, you need now to come and top up with manure, pure organic.
Too much water could also harm the tubers, as Martin educates us.
This is a wetland, so you normally get there is plenty of water coming from the underground. During the planting, water is fine, but as the arrowroot grows, we need to clear this water to avoid the arrowroot getting rot. So immediately after you have dug 1.5 feet diameter and a depth of 1 feet, you just need to dig a small hole inside. Then at least try to space a bit, another one, and then also you put the other suckers there. Then immediately you just leave it there for about 1 month. Then after 1 month you need to put manure just to enable the suckers to grow accordingly.
Martin demonstrates to us on how to dig the arrowroot holes, which are 1 feet deep.
Ensure at least you have a space of about 20 meters from the other hole to this part. So that's a good size, at least 1 feet deep.
As we move to the next portion of the farm, we notice a stream of water cutting across the farm. As we learned before, the wetland method requires a constant supply of water. Martin is thankful to have the stream cutting across his farm.
We normally call this stream Kamadingo. It's normally streams downwards throughout the year. It never dries, and we normally depend on this stream to supply water to this arrowroot.
Martin describes arrowroot farming as one of the easiest crops to grow, as they do not require a lot of attention. In fact, he mentions that the most important thing is to ensure that weeding is done regularly and that the farm is clean. He now takes us to the portion of the farm that contains the arrowroots which are due for harvest.
Arrowroot, it happens to be the easiest crop which you can plant in your shamba, just because it requires a very minimal work or very minimal supervision. The reason I'm saying this, within those 5 to 6 months, that's the maturity period, you only need just to ensure 2 things. One, you ensure that the place is very neat. Actually, it requires a lot of hygiene. Hygiene in terms that you ensure that there are no weeds which are competing with the suckers. And then number 2, just need to ensure that the area is a bit wet, just to ensure that there is a flow of growth. Then also ensure that there's plenty of manure, just to have that the suckers, it has something to feed on. Then within 5 to 6 months, that arrowroot should be mature for harvesting. So when it comes to mature, or to the maturity level, one thing which will indicate that arrowroot is ready to be harvested, it's the color of the leaves. One, the colors will start changing to yellow, and number 2, those leaves will also start withering. That indicates that arrowroot, it can now be harvested.
Consistency in the market is vital for business growth by maintaining your customers. An arrowroot farmer can achieve this through partitioning his farm, as this guarantees that production is consistent in such that as you are harvesting, you are planting in other portions as well as having others which are almost due.
For us to have a continuous supply, we have portioned this land into different portions or different parts. Like in this land, I have about more than 20 portions, which I normally harvest every month. For example, where we are, it's about 5 months. That means in the next few weeks or maybe 1 month, it will be ready to be harvested. As you can see already, the leaves have changed the color. They have started turning to yellow, and also some leaves are withering. That means it's now almost ready to be harvested. As I've talked about keeping your land neat, you can see we have managed, we have tried all our best level to ensure that there are no weeds within the arrowroots. At least once per month. This it's a wetland. That means the weeds, they normally grow very fast, just because of water and also the manure which we are using. That means they'll keep growing. So at least every month you need to send someone to come and weed. That means I've created a lot of job opportunities. For example, today I have one person who is working on the suckers, but other days you'll get, I have 2 people or 3 people or 4 people who are harvesting, others are digging holes, others are transporting. I've created enough job opportunities.
Martin mentioned earlier that his customers require a relatively large tuber. He now takes us through the harvesting process to reveal the size which he says his clients prefer.
So, for example, this one is almost mature. It seems to have a good size. So number 1, you just need to loosen the soil by cutting sideways. That means now I'm cutting the roots the 4 signs. Then after that, now you can pour upward. So remember I said my market needs just an average size, not just a big arrowroot. Then after that, cut that, and then now you just need to cut the arrowroot up to where the roots are starting, just below there. You just need to cut like that. Yes. After cutting the tuber, you remain with the suckers. It's either you can sell the tuber or maybe you just plant it back to your farm or to my farm. So generally, if you are selling, this size will give you good money, not less than 15 bob when selling per each.
Just how high is the demand for these nutritious tubers? With an order of 3,000 kilos on weekly basis, Martin is calling out to more farmers to grow the ndomas, as locally known, so that the market is sufficiently supplied.
The demand is very high. Like from this shamba, I'm not able to sustain the market. I'm forced to buy the arrowroot from other farmers for me to be able to meet the demand. So I want to call every farmer to get back to the shamba, plant ndoma, so that we are able to meet the demand.
As we learned earlier that there are many benefits that one can get from arrowroots, let's find out how a restaurant in Embu Town is making a kill by making a traditional porridge using the arrowroots. Charles Mugambi, the owner of the restaurant, said this product has significantly raised his clientele base.
We are one of the best hotels in Embu Town, basically because we do a lot of traditional dishes, especially value addition on ndoma. We have some very nice natural porridge, which we do mostly with ndoma, a little bit of cassava, groundnuts, and milk. Then we blend. It's 100% natural. There are no additives, just boiling and blending. And we also have some mokimo, like the one I'm having, which is also done with ndoma, washe and yams. Washe are sweet potatoes. So we also mash them. And these, I can say, are the most popular foods we have. Since the introduction of the two foods around 2 years ago, our clientele base has really increased because everyone is looking for something fresh and something natural.
Charles is encouraging more people to consume more of the traditional foods rich in nutrients as compared to the most processed foods, which have been linked to be reason behind some of the lifestyle diseases.
I'll encourage people to consume more of these local and natural foods. One, because they are readily available, especially in Embu. Secondly, they are not tiresome or tedious to prepare. It's more of boiling. Then they are very nutritious and natural. So from time, especially the aged people, we have seen them encouraging us to continue and to be more innovative on such foods. So very soon we are going to introduce more foods. We are thinking of doing cassava ugali, we are doing of yams ugali, and more so I'll encourage people to really get into these traditional foods.
We also got some sentiments from one of the customers who frequent the restaurant for this special beverage.
My name is Immaculate Murugi. I work for Embu County Government. I am so happy to have you guys here. This is unexpected. I was just coming to have my arrowroot porridge and then blah, I meet you guys. I mean, thank you so much. The reason why I'd recommend this is because first of all, it's healthy. It's healthy. This is what we do. This is our own, whatever, as the county, you know. So anyone else who is watching this, please, this is porridge from arrowroot. Have you ever taken porridge from arrowroot? And then it comes with a tropical. My friend, what else do you need? Please come here. Embu County, the land of opportunities. Exactly.
For those that would want to contact Martin, he shares his contact with us.
You can get me through my Facebook platform by name Herda Martin. Herda Martin, and also I'm in WhatsApp where I can share everything which I'm doing through the same number 0711 303 668. Let's grow together. Asante.
So that brings us to the end of our show today on Mizizi. Thank you so much for staying with us. And as always, we love to hear from you because your feedback helps us to serve you better. Until next time, it's bye-bye from us.